Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, the Yankees are back. They swept the Oakland A's. Well, it's not really that impressive. It's the Oakland A's. They're better, maybe barely better than a college team or maybe a minor league team, a single A team at that. But nevertheless, Yankees do the right thing at home, take care of business against the A's, which they should. So we'll get into the series, not something to get crazy over. Again, it's a really terrible team, but nevertheless, do the job there. And again, it's a good series for a couple of Yankees there, mainly DJ LeMahieu, and someone I think really needs to come to life there to help supplement Judge with the loss of Stanton, and of course Anthony Volpe with his first career grand slam. So something to cheer about. So get into the whole thing, but before we do, make sure you subscribe to the podcast, Section 420 Talkin Yankees, wherever you get your podcasts, wherever you listen to other shows, stuff like that. Just type it in, Section 420 Talkin Yankees. Find the thing. I'm sure there's a logo or something like that. Click follow, subscribe, and get a little wrapped up after each series and other cool stuff. Only exclusive for you podcast subscribers. And most recently, may want to check out the Section 420 Talkin Yankees YouTube channel. So go to YouTube, Section 420 Talkin Yankees. See my most recent interview with Jonna from the Babes podcast. Now it's a trio of gals, two Yankee fans and a St. Louis Cardinals fan. But of course, this is a one-on-one with Jonna, who is a diehard Yankees fan. So kind of just went over some of these current Yankee issues. So you want to check that out as well. But let's just get to the series at hand here against the Oakland A's. So the Yankees lose 2 out of 3 in Tampa there, kind of, limp back home and kind of do what you have to do. You have to take a business, a team like the A's coming in here 20 games under 500, team that's this franchise really that's just completely lost. I mean, they're on their way to Vegas at some point. You go to the Oakland Coliseum, it's completely empty. The team's is absolutely a couple of good players that are interesting, but this overall is absolutely terrible. And if you're the Yankees, even if the Yankees are reeling a little bit in certain areas, this is definitely a situation where you have to take 3 out of 3 just for the fact that Tampa Bay coming to town to the Bronx, to continue that sort of little battle there. So, you're going to lose some games there, so you definitely want to take these 3. You would figure easy wins against the Oakland A's. So the first game there wasn't easy initially. Now it was Nestor Cortes versus J.P. Sears. Again, J.P. Sears, the former Yankee lefty there, who was involved in the Frankie Montas trade. Again, Sears came up here, started a couple games for the Yankees, and it was good. A lot of good stuff there. I think Cashman, brilliantly showcased him and then used him in the trade to get Montas, which just, again, turned out to be a disaster. Now, Yankees initially, again, this was a bit of a pitcher's duel early on, and it wasn't until the 5th inning that finally the Yankees broke through in the 5th inning with Oswaldo Cabrera with a home run with Beta on the base there, 2-0, giving the Yankees an early score there. And just kind of want to go back to that conversation I had with John. Again, we kind of discussed this, the importance of Beta, just the difference with him within 1 week with this team. You see the excitement, and he just seems to get on base a lot. He's in the field making plays, got that funky thing after every out, kind of throws how many outs there are, and that's kind of become like an internet thing now, social media. So again, we kind of give praises to Bader, and again, he didn't disappoint in the series. And it got a quick note also, the return of Aaron Judge. Yes, so before we get the show started there, ahead of myself, Aaron Judge finally coming off the IL list, thankfully, and no home runs in the series, but it's good to see him back in there. And he kind of hinted that maybe, the IL wasn't totally necessary, maybe, but nevertheless, they're kind of a little precautious with that. So him back in the lineup well. But let's get back to the Yankees with the 2-0 lead. Now, interestingly, when Cabrera hit that 2-run home run, Nestor was still the pitcher of record. Now, Marinaccio did something that they call stealing a win. So now in the 6th inning himself, he ended up giving up 2 runs there. So he cost Nestor the win. So even though he left the 6th inning with a 2 score, he was technically still the pitcher of record. And then after that, the Yankee offense actually got to work a little bit more to build on to 2 runs they had. Starting with a Gleyber Torres home run, and then later on DJ LeMahieu hitting a 2-run home run at the point, giving the Yankees a 5-2 lead. And again, since Marinaccio technically was the pitcher of record, now he blew the win for Nestor, but he stole the win for himself there. So it's kind of an interesting situation. If a relief pitcher does that, sometimes they might actually give the win to the pitcher that came after that because they don't want to reward someone for blowing a win. It's kind of a weird thing, but nevertheless, the official scorekeepers actually gave Marinaccio the win there. So just a little kind of interesting. And then shockingly in the 7th inning, Aaron Hicks with a sign of life, a 2-run home run, hitting left-handed, going second deck, kind of like the Hicks we used to see maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Not saying he's back, but nevertheless, padded the Yankees lead up there at that point, 7-2, and the Yankees take the first game. And, Hicks, maybe little baby steps. He saw in the final Tampa game, getting a double, his first extra base hit of the entire year, which is kind of insane. And then a game after that, hitting a 2-run home run. So I don't know, is Hicks coming back? Is he making a little headway? I don't know, too soon to say that, but nevertheless, good to see him show some sign of life there for the Yankees. And maybe if you could build on that something, again, not something I'm counting on, but just throw it out there. So again, the win goes to Marinaccio, which he didn't really deserve, but Yankees most importantly take the first game. Now, after the game, the Yankees option Nick Ramirez, the left-handed bullpen reliever, down to AAA and brought up Greg Weissart. Just kind of get a fresh arm up there. It has to probably do with matchups coming up and all that whatnot, which brings us to game two. And Clark Schmidt, I guess, collectively finally had a good, honest performance that you say, something you could finally be proud of. Was able to pitch 6 innings, something he really hasn't done all season. Now, in the first inning, he did, a little wild and did get touched up, gave up an RBI single and put the Yankees in a hole 1-0 early. But the Yankee offense exploded with a 5-run third inning. Got started off with a Judge hard hit to third base, but the ball was kind of bobbled there. And it's kind of the Yankees went on a bit of a merry-go-round, put up a 5 spot. Now, in the 8th, Oakland second baseman Diaz would hit his 3rd home run of the game. So, kind of quietly kind of snuck it in there, but had a 3 home run game of himself. Pulled the score within 9-5. They're threatening a little bit, but still just the way Oakland is. And you never really felt the Yankees were endangered. Again, you sweated a tab, but not much. You didn't feel like the Yankees were going to blow this one. They would add on another run in the bottom of the 8th, double the lead, 10-5. Now, in the bottom of the 9th inning, the gentleman who was brought up, Greg Weissart, came on. Now, he got a little sloppy there, ended up putting 2 runners on, and Boone had Holmes warming up. And again, I'm sure Boone didn't want to have to go to Holmes because you're winning by 5 runs. You don't want to use one of your quote-unquote high leverage guys in this situation. But at this point, too, the Yankees are still kind of grasp for wins because, again, they're in the last place there. So, brings Holmes on. Now, Holmes gets 2 quick strikeouts on 6 pitches, and you think, wow, this is going to blow through this one. Now, he did give up a walk, loaded the bases up there, 10-5. So even if they hit a grand slam, it brings it within 10-9. You're not thinking that's happened, but then Holmes able to dig down deep and get a strikeout of Kemp to end the game there, end the threat, and the Yankees come away with the 10-5 win and take the first 2 games. And he kind of upset a little bit that he had to blow and use Holmes there, but it could have been actually a blessing in disguise because it's good to see him in there in the 9th inning. Again, getting those first 2 strikeouts, what you want, and then getting, you don't like the walk, but then getting the strikeout at the end of the game. So 3 strikeouts in an inning, and if that's the claims we want, hey, so if it was a blessing in disguise, maybe just get him in there, get him some action where it wasn't a situation that was going to cost you the game if he was a little wild. So the Yankees come away with that, with the 2 games, and then bring us to the finale, game 3. Now, after the game, maybe a little punishment for Weissart there. They actually sent him back down and then called up Devi Garcia. Remember now, the Yankees were a little high on him 2 years ago. Last season took a setback in the minors, and he wasn't really into the mix, but the Yankees bringing him up now after the 2nd game there, and he actually performed quite well in the 3rd game. We'll get into that. Now, it was Johnny Brito versus Kyle Muller. Now, in the 1st inning, the Yankees got on the board right away. Sacrifice fly by Torres, brought in Judge, gave the Yankees an early 1-0 lead, and then shortly after that, with 2 runners on, that person I mentioned much early in the podcast, we mentioned yesterday in the interview with Jonna, Harrison Beta, 3-run home run, puts the Yankees up 4-0, and from there you can really almost turn it off, and the Yankees get attacking on the rest of this game. But again, Oakland made it a little bit interesting, would hit a couple of home runs off of Brito. Afterwards, in the 2nd inning, cut the lead in half to 4-2. But in the 5th inning, Yankees more than enough put this one away. DJ LeMahieu, big home run, putting the Yankees up at that point, 7-2. Not only big, just because you got to get him hitting again. And I mentioned this in the conversation with John, and again, I'm going to mention that conversation a million times. So go check it out on YouTube. We need DJ to be back. The DJ he was, when he was like an MVP type candidate. Now, between DJ and Mike Trout, it would always go to someone like Mike Trout. But we look at DJ, his numbers, hitting 320, just hitting home runs, and just, hitting in front of Judge, getting on base any way possible so Judge can hit a 2-run home run, or at least, move the defense around a little bit where maybe Judge can hit one in the gap. You got to get DJ going. DJ hitting at 250, that's just not going to get it for the Yankees. So it's just good to see DJ coming up a little bit alive in the series. So good home run there. But then the headline is going to be, of course, Anthony Volpe with bases loaded, hits his first career grand slam, puts the game way out of reach at that point too. But just, again, good to see him going as well, because had the slow start to April, final week of April, and then has been hitting a little bit in that lead hole. But now you see him with the power, his 3rd home in the season. But again, the grand slam, his first career grand slam, puts the game way out of reach at 11-2. And interesting, Volpe hitting his first career grand slam at age 22. And knock, knock, guess who? Aaron Judge also hit his first career grand slam at the age of 22 as well. So just lining up there a little bit. So Volpe, a future captain, probably not at this point, but just we're a little too early for that. But again, interesting simile there, and good to see him get his first career Grand Slam. So we saw his first hit, first home run as a Yankee now for first Grand Slam, got that all off the bag. And it's funny enough, I think it took Jeter like almost 10 years to get his first career Grand Slam. I believe it was in 2006 against the Chicago Cubs in an interleague game. So it took Jeter about 10 years, so it only took Volpe about a month there. So, hey, not bad there for the Yankee shortstop. And again, lost in all that because they're all going to talk about the Volpe Grand Slam was Deivi Garcia finishing off the game, 3 strong innings, only giving up 2 hits and 2 strikeouts there. Is he another solution, as the Yankees kind of, maybe shuffle some ideas around the starting rotation. Not that I don't think after Clark Schmidt's last outing where he went 6 innings, he probably at least gets 1 or 2 more starts. But Deivi Garcia and the Yankees were high on him a couple of seasons ago. Never really seemed to consistently hit his potential there, but maybe they throw him in the mix. I think Herman's pretty much held on to his spot right now. Severino's around the corner, so when Severino comes back, you figure Clark Schmidt's the first one going to be out. But it's good to have someone, if Deivi Garcia could do that a little more consistently, maybe Deivi Garcia, give him a spot start. This is what you do. Interesting enough, but nevertheless, the Yankees take the final game 11-3, a laugh against the Oakland A's, and you don't get too high on this. Again, the A's are terrible, so you're not going to parade or anything like that. You did what you have to do. You beat a team that's below 20 games below 500. You should take all 3 games. So good to see that. But again, if you want to take this individually, just good to see a couple of Yankees there. Harrison Bader, again, just 1 week in, you see the difference he brings to his lineup on so many different levels. Great to see Judge back and healthy. Getting no home runs in the series. That's okay. It's fine. They'll come eventually. Did get some hits, hit some balls hard there. And, of course, DJ LeMahieu, a couple of home runs in the series as well. And even Gleyber Torres come to life as well. His bat's been looking great lately. So, it has to be more than this, Judge. You need Torres doing his thing. You need DJ Lewis doing his thing. Got the new guy Volpe at top of the lineup. Don't expect him to hit grand slams all the time, but hitting the ball hard and maybe finally start seeing this lineup come to life a little bit and just at a good time now that with Tampa coming into town there. Again, you could have seen a situation where the Yankees possibly could have taken all 3 games in Tampa. So you take solace in that. Now the Yankees are a bit more complete lineup. They're at home a little bit more healthy. Let's see what happens against Tampa here. But Yankees still stuck in the basement there, 5th place in the AL East at 21-17. So Yankees still have a lot of work to do for them. But nevertheless, do the right thing against the Oakland A's. So we'll catch you on the next one. Easy one against Oakland. It's going to be much tougher against Tampa, I can tell you that.